They won't stop. I'm supposed to too. Why are they whispering? Stop it. This is Trilby's notes. Look out window. All was dark outside the window, either through nailed up boards or thick grime on the pane. Open door. This is very, very, very disturbing. And it only gets worse from here, my friends. It only gets worse from here. See? Look writing. The graffiti read, priest or prisoner, acolyte or slave. I had no idea who it could be referring to. It didn't sound like something John Defoe would inspire. BBB? Where did BBB come from? I was pressing F3 to increase the volume. I want you to be able to hear the whispering. Look writing. Blood seemed to be running down the stairs as if someone had attempted to descend them while bleeding out with increasing speed. The corpse had apparently spent his last few moments of life making graffiti. Was he responsible for all the messages I had seen so far? Run. Look corpse. The body was that of a young, muscular man, I hazarded, and was wearing some kind of old-fashioned military uniform, complete with blue tunic and riding boots. More to the point, his head was missing, and his hands were worn down to bloody wads of flesh and bone. I noticed a collection of handwritten pages on the floor near his body. They appeared to be entries from a diary. July 18th. Felicia and I took shelter from the storm in a decrepit old hotel in the forest. It seemed to be completely deserted, so we bedded down on the floor of the lobby for the night. It is so peaceful here. The noise of the storm seems far away. July 19th. Exploring the hotel, it has become increasingly clear that the place is not as innocent as it first seemed. We found ancient corpses and evidence of terrible deeds in several of the rooms. The storm is cleared and we intend to leave as soon as possible. July 20th. I am now certain that devilry is at work. Every path we take through the forest brings us back to the hotel. We spent a whole day trying routes to no avail. Felicia keeps talking about a demon she fancies she saw in the hotel kitchen last night. Excuse me. July 21st. Felicia is dead. I was too late to help her. I saw her murderer just as she did. Perhaps I will be next. I am beginning to understand. July 23rd. The murderous figure in black, the one whose body is savagely stretched into a mockery of form, is not the architect of this nightmare. Rather, this is the work of that hideous lord of forbidden lands. Gods forgive me. July 25th. I built a shrine to my captor in the lobby in an attempt to appease it. Nothing has changed. I have found no food. I have no more food. The horror is starting to affect my mind. July 28th. I am certain my mind is going. I imagined for a moment that the hotel had changed, had become finely decorated and welcoming as it must have been in the past. I blinked and it returned to its normal, hateful self. The next few pages were sprinkled with blood, obscuring some of the text. August 1st. What is his leia to that disgusting beast? Is he servant or prisoner? Sometimes he act alone. Sometimes he at t behest of higher power. What do he want from me? August 3rd. He is aft me now. I think I must have done hing wrong. August 4th. Hurts. That was the last readable entry. I decided not to take them with me. They were covered in blood and all stuck together. The lobby too had been tainted, and the painting I sought was absent. Presumably it only existed in the hotel's normal form. If that was the case, I needed to find a way back there, or dispel the hallucination if this truly was all in my mind. Excuse me. At this stage, I was beginning to wonder if this really was it, all John Defoe's doing. It didn't seem his style somehow. But what other evil could possibly be the culprit? What other evil indeed? Look, wall. A pentagram had been scrawled on the north wall, and a cow's skull had been nailed in place over it. It seemed to be some kind of offering. Take skull. I opted to leave it alone. Perhaps it was all that prevented my destruction at the hands of restless devils. Look, altar. Look, altar. There was some kind of waist-high stone altar on which some poor wretch had underwent some kind of sacrificial ritual. Look, corpse. Someone had been tied down to the altar, flayed, and had their innards removed. By the looks of the horrible claw marks and broken fingernails, they had been alive at least part way into the procedure. Look. The entrance room of the alternative Clansburn Hotel at least retained the basic shape of a lobby, in that the pigeonholes remained, and an altar about the right size and shape of... Excuse me. An altar about the right size and shape for a reception counter. Look, holes. Look, pigeonholes. Some of the pigeonholes contained disembodied organs and entrails, which presumably belonged inside the creature on the altar. Open door. The office door was locked. I had encountered far stronger locks in my time. I picked it open within 10 minutes. I could somewhat sympathize with the clandestine graffiti artist. The room was tiny, and the absence of ventilation made the air very stuffy and thick. The only features were a safe and a table. There was a rickety metal table with nothing on it save the prerequisite blood spots. Look safe. Look safe. It almost looked like some creature had exploded inside the safe and the blood had shot out through the cracks around the door. Crack safe. The door seemed to be jammed shut. This came as something of a relief. Well, get closer, genius. Alright, let's try getting out of here. Oh dear, oh dear. Look, sign. Look, heads. The two heads on the right were decayed down to their skulls, but the one on the left was very much fresh, its features made unfamiliar by the torment it had undergone. Righto. Look, bars. Look, body? It looks like there's a body there. I can't tell if that's blood stains coming out or if it's supposed to be like a bloodied arm. Look fence. Taking a closer look, I noticed there were several knot holes in the fence. Look knot holes. The holes were big enough to offer a view of the area beyond if I could get closer. Through holes? Peering through the nearest hole, I saw a barren expanse of harsh ground furnished with broken piles of rusting furniture. Look sky. The corruption of the hotel seemed to extend for miles in every direction. Even the sky's rusty hue seemed threatening. This doesn't look good. Look, fire escape. It may have been a usable fire escape. It may once have been a usable fire escape, but it was now so rusted and bent with metal fatigue that the slightest pressure would probably bring it crashing down. Hold on, let's see if there are more holes here. Peering through the nearest hole, I saw a small enclosed yard with some kind of hideous sacrificial altar. Looks like leaving isn't an option. At least not in the normal method. Open door. Perhaps the alternative hotel bar had been like the real one at some point in the past, but it had long since fallen in disarray and appeared to have been used for very sinister purposes. Look, posters. The left poster had some kind of portrait of the strange masked figure I had glimpsed in the hotel. The middle poster was blank and the third was smashed. In keeping with the alternative hotel's theme, the furniture looks like someone had been hurled against them with absolute fatal force. Lying on the bar in a pool of gore was a pair of long-nosed pliers. Take pliers. Look, pliers. I wondered as to their purpose here, then decided I didn't want to consider it. They were rusty but functional. I took them with me. Look, bar. Look, stools. Stuffing bled from the 3 bar stools, apparently each one methodically slashed with a sharp blade. Look, arcade. It appeared to be damaged, with the front plate ajar and frayed wires emerging from the rear. Strangely, though, the screen was active and flashing blankly. Push buttons. Open door. Goodness me. Look. It had probably been a dining room, judging by the number of tables. There were a total of 4 exits to the adjoining rooms. Look, exits. Look, doors. There were 4 doors, none of which seemed inviting. One to the east led back to the hallway, and one to the west leading to the kitchen. One to some kind of unisex bathroom, and another one, large one that had been boarded up. Some kind of flayed corpse was nailed into place over the door to the toilet, blocking the way. Look, tables. The tables were universally hidden under tablecloths, yellowed and stinking with age. There was a plate of rancid meat on the center one, adding its evil stench to the air. Look, meat. There was an arrangement of uncooked meat with ribs sticking out on the center table that seemed to be attracting insects beautifully. I tried not to think about what kind of meat it was. I tore off a lump of the meat to take with me. If I came up against anything hostile and carnivorous in this place, it would help to have something other than myself to offer it. Look, writing. The words "it feeds" were inexplicably spelled out on the north wall in the prerequisite bloody letters. Glad this hotel is consistent. Look, corpse. The body had been completely flayed and still glistened wetly with blood. The hands and one of the feet were held in place around the door with 6-inch nails. Look, nails. Remove nails. The nails were hammered in extremely far. My fingertips lacked the strength to pull them out. Use pliers. I should probably be more specific. Use pliers to remove nails. The pliers were ideal for removing the nails. Hey, hello there, sir. You're rather tall. Open door. Look. The gloomy lavatories were in a state of advanced disrepair. One of the cubicle doors was hanging on its hinges, and the mirror above the counter was broken. Look, mirror. The cracks and stains twisted my reflection as something most unpleasing. Look, writing. Blood flowed from one of the sinks in one of the toilets, indicating some hideous presence in the plumbing system. Look, sinks. The right sink was full of blood, the left one was merely dirty. The counter had 2 sinks and was covered in filth and mold. To my surprise, a brand new sealed envelope was sitting between the basins. Envelope. Contrary to everything else in the hotel, it was completely clean. Slightly alarming, it was addressed to me. Take envelope. Baffled, I took the envelope. It was strangely bulky, and I tore it open. A white pill bottle and a note fell into my hand. I here enclosed the note with this report. Trilby, if you're reading this, then you too have seen the hotel change. At present, I have no idea if the alternate hotel is part of the ethereal realm or some kind of construct, a pocket dimension. There is a definite correlation between one's level of agitation and one's tendency to reality shift. Fear is your enemy. It leaves you shining like a beacon for whatever evil brought us to this place. Enclosed is a bottle of tranquilizers from my personal first aid kit. When you find yourself shifting into the other place, take a pill and try to calm down. Then the real hotel will return. So take a chill pill. Do not let it concern you. I am researching the phenomenon. Your task is to find Defoe. Good luck, Agent Linkman. Linkman's letter raised more questions than it answered. I pocketed the pills. Look. Toilets. Look. Toilets? None of the toilets appeared to be functional. One of them was overflowing with blood, which left me disinclined to investigate the others. Even had I the inclination, I very much doubted the plumbing would still work. Take chill pill. Damn, I was really hoping that would work. Take pill. Hesitantly, I tipped a tranquilizer into my palm and swallowed it without water. It quickly took effect. I felt the anxiety lift from the pit of my stomach, and my dismal surroundings seemed to feel less imposing. Then I felt that strange sensation again of lightheadedness and detachment as the world around me began to quiver. The toilets were so clean and well-maintained that the very tiles of the floor seemed to glow with luminescence. The mirror above the counter was spotless and crystal clear. I seemed fine. I seemed somewhat pale, but otherwise fine. Use sink. I should wash Hands. I washed my hands of grime and splashed water into my face, then dried myself quickly. Use toilet? I had neither the need nor the inclination to use the lavatories at that time. Well, one usually has to have the need in order to have the inclination. Most people don't have the need, but just knowing. Most people don't have the inclination without the need. You know? Hmm. Looks fine now. The dining room was rather small and sparse. It seemed the Clansborough Hotel was only one step above a bed and breakfast. Open door. It appeared to be locked, probably by a deadbolt on the other side. Open door. Look. Posters. Three framed vintage advertisements for three brands of drinks decorated the wall. If they were originals, they were probably quite valuable. I had been through this. I had been through this. I was no longer a thief. Cry. Well, it's good that you don't understand the word, Trilby. Look, bar. Two small tables were arranged for guests. The bar was wooden paneled and outfitted with an adequate selection of drinks and glasses. Look, drinks. Look, bottles. A row of glass drink receptacles sat along the top shelf behind the bar, so clean it seemed unlikely that they were used frequently. I think it was a pub quiz machine. A piece of white card on the screen declared that it was out of order. Okay, moving on. Look. The lobby of the Clan Orburn Hotel did its best to appear welcoming. The reception desk was well polished and the pigeonholes, while empty, were recently dusted. Wonder where the clerk went. Or the receptionist, or whatever you'd call it. Open door. The air in the hotel office was swimming with dust. The proprietors clearly felt that record keeping was more of a formality than a necessity. In the corner of the room was a diminutive but sturdy steel safe. Look. Desk. There was virtually nothing on the desk, and it lacked a chair. Obviously, very little work was done here. Look, files. Look, shelf. A single shelf was the home of a large number of dust-covered binders and papers. Excuse me. Useless piles of hotel maintenance paperwork and correspondence, no doubt. Damn it. Look, safe. The safe was thick, but the lock was an old commercial brand I was highly skilled at cracking. I hadn't caused to crack safes for some time, but my hands instantly went to mechanic, into automatic, the thieving mindset returning like an old friend. When the job was done and the safe opened, my nostalgia faded into puzzlement when I found it empty. Just for once, I'd like to crack a safe that actually contained something. Is that so much to ask? Close safe. Yeah, it's pretty easy. You just move the door back into position. Close safe. Oh, whatever. Let people realize that an attempted robbery had taken place. This is what we were going to look for if we couldn't find the idol anyway. I was frankly astonished that Matthew Defoe's painting had survived the immolation of Defoe Manor. As I stared at it, it seemed that the surrounding room began to blur, until only the painting was in focus. I fancied I could hear the creaks and whispers of Defoe Manor's hallways. It felt a bizarre urge to reach out and touch the painting. Well, I might say it's best to reach out and touch someone. As I stepped closer, I could feel sound becoming muffled and my head spinning as if I were about to faint. My hand, as if pulled by an invisible string, reached out towards the clumsy brush strokes. Defoe Manor, July 28th, AD 1821. Matthew Defoe is 15 years old today. He is excitedly putting the finishing touches to a painting which his father commented on encouragingly for the first time he has ever been supportive of Matthew's artistic leanings. Matthew is now convinced that his father is lifting from the mysterious depression that has plagued him for as long as either of them can remember. Now he intends to make the painting absolutely perfect before showing it again. Master Matthew, Sir Roderick has requested your presence in the trophy room. Thank you, James. And if you would be so good to inform him that I will be retiring for the night. Very good, James. Yeah, I'm not controlling him right now. Ah, there you are, boy. Let me introduce you to my son, Matthew. Hello. This is my friend, Mr. Smith. He's an expert on African, well, just a scholar, hardly even that, just someone with an interest in the subject. And he has offered to assess the figurine I brought back from my travels. Can't remember the voice I gave him. I wasn't aware you had a family, Sir Roderick. Is your wife home, too? Regrettably, Belinda is no longer with us. Oh, I'm sorry. Quite all right, you couldn't have known. She succumbed to illness shortly after Matthew was born. I finished that painting I showed you, Father. Oh, good. Well, Mr. Smith, what do you think of the piece? It's an intriguing little puzzler, actually. The design is reminiscent of few Central African tribal gods I am aware of. But to be honest, I've never seen anything like this before. May I ask how you acquired it? I'm glad you asked. It was 20 years ago when I was a younger man on my first travels in the Dark Continent. We were traveling along the west coast when our bearers spotted a ship that had run aground. It was an English clipper named the Sea Angel, and a short exploration revealed that every single crewman had disappeared. Of course, we immediately sent a letter to the nearest embassy to report the finding. But the point is, it was on the lowest deck of the ship that I found the very figurine you see before you today. What an extraordinary tale. But how do you account for there being an African tribal carving on a British vessel? We were as confused as you are. It wasn't a slave trading vessel, but there must have been a Negro on the crew. It has been a personal mystery of mine ever since. I was hoping you could shed a little light on the matter. But there is more to tell. I haven't even begun to recount the strange events that have surrounded this artifact. Would you care for a glass of brandy? Thank you, that would be most kind. Matthew, fetch the brandy from the kitchen and some glasses. Yes, Father. Can I save? Okay, good. Before we fetch our dad some brandy, I think we're going to end this video. I'm the Blues 32. This is Trilby's Notes, and we are strangely in the past.